Mount that was the energy drink na 5 down. Nam say energy drink ben 5 down. Was the anya flaster? Nam say me medicine the man nam say mercy. But also benum day. Was the some semenum flaster nam so benum so bankese. Wo benum flaster have sebio na mampani na bega for mu kwatna. What them who say my was have been to bro. Messi wa bon. Ejey. Sabi. Bulenye twa mu na me asaba sachira da bi. Mantimi ansachira. Ana me ko share Easter. Easter so mantimi ansachira. Na anu kwasi ada ya na me se da bi se de ne ma keka kɔ na wasa me sachira. Na me pastor pa bi kɔ. Ene ne be ma mo nyamfo pa ni be me. Mi tisi aso dem ho. Se mi wura ho ma nhwe. Rododo fo aso le menim. Sanya Pentecost papa ni bia. Momo msama Pentecost fo. Pentecost wa maso dem ho de. Na wura Pentecost aso de dem ne etonwoma. Oh jai. Say so for woro so so le ma titi wo nyina woro so. Manya Pentecost papa ni bia nko. Afemi bowura wa meti. Praise the Lord. I flip. I bet you my quarter. I and was to change your boss. We change your penny when I'm not one about Major Michael. Jai, penny baby. Say one no cry yet. 372 times. No, I bet you now. What's it? Up me say let me somehow company say me shadum biasio I saw them higher lem woman pesa anyum no asa peja kalina me so nyama kutai still na saw them higher lem say me mo papa ya obosmak mak obua odi kosua ba ko obua odi akoko ba ko obua na sabe na ko ebe to abonsema kuma ma to bie no apeja hop abonsema kuma aso dem ho ye backing vocalist for ma begina wo mo beje so ami akọ no mo gina ho na ko ya peja hop abonsema kuma o mo ni o beje so se aka mo gina ho na hop no asampeja ho wabusima kuma still na hop o mo fi wo mani kura na hop se omo so omo twa de na se ma no mo bu afu enkankan leaders no so o twa na se ma pe no adwa no atem he come on wabusima kuma say afen no mo de first one yin ba na be no me ko second me ko third o mi je won sa no mo so hop wa mi sa yan kan yan wan ka wo ko ja yan wo tre en ko da ko ku ya bo aba so le won kasa da won shiawa sofo no ko ne baby sofo pon ya pen wo se ko ku ya bo a mesrewa shira for the so ni yampon se me begina ha no wi introduction wasi rade nya koko he wunim sam me chira ha me chema he wo so fukura wa ya we sa me chema ana wa yi say me na me mo mpa ye me do o je bo se ne yam bon obi akofie ala msia ona mbo usa power to power man no dey Monday papa mo nsama kwaku ye bo a wa ya de jimiye do
na wotwe agora kuhwegu ene ne dom edi ebrɛ no wɔn ato di sɛ abae de bɔban no ye de bɛbɔ tachi
Ankwa ya de ni wewu nti we de mawie mani jada ni amrewo magwa eto menyeto ba kumo browa aw enu ama meku aw emeni mo nyam 47 pa mesi so abo brani bie na he wu ayenye abusia mi sape na su bi ni abua kan kabia mpani su wu a jawo kawa ma di so sa ali bia man san wa jana na nama ti mi bele ni mu a na mi ya chire mi wure na nama ye ama fo wa da wa me se bi be si aje so da na mi tiri ma ye me de keke so ma wo ba hwe wo ba ni mo nyamfo
da me penta mo mi ko
ye sare mo na ni ana ni jimi abete
o da pesa
ma mi pesa sa ni ye me ho so aye le na so kwa brenje bi ho kwa brenje bi ho na kwa jimi sika brem obema mi 1.5
da be na me kwa ba me ko school
ya na sati se mi o ta fa ke school wa na tisika school pra wa tisika eni pa wa ti school wa di sika na ti school
na da to boy
eni ko wo ko kwa bena je bi na so eni wa ni ba kwa si je bi ho je no wo 1.5 o so am fa ma na fa blem
na da me ko din ko si je bi wona ji sika
se o ka si eni wa o be ja ni ba enti na ma me ka sa
da o pesa o am ko school we my letting them
mi ti sa ji mi san no wo so ma no ba ko tu mo yi ya ni e de pa sa san to no Elivania
me kwa mashubi ni pani
ba wa ye be ma pa wa ye be ma àwọn feja tomu
atuba sawuni
emilim hwe emilia ade so aka
kromi e wei usaki tikiti na me ya danfo
eni asagoro oni nyansafo to fa yonko a
me yonko ba ko pe wonso kromi ni ya woni nyansafo
asam no aboso sei kwaku washi mahwemi ai me ni asimi nyansafo bi
me pewasem
me so me pewasem
ela o kan kura so
me
na ayi ni ba no ba no na ni bo fuare are
wa yade yesi sika ya de nyina yi na ha na kokwaji sika wa kwasi je bi wo bra mia wa kwa nu asim wa kana ni na ni mamu asa ayi atikulete ebe tu foforo ehunahuna ni pansa na tu ade
nini ara me ka chose en kwa mu lusi ya ese se onye omo ho potre
ma nya butre ni bia
ama pedesia ai adamansa ne babire frere comfort no
ai da bia na fort one kwa
abranti bia so ni nufu ni watwini me na
chamu yesu di me fia
Ajaminia dia bi betwa
sana tie
mini bere o ka se nche bia na mpokwache bosia e free and so ma
ai o kwaje ni sika bia na aka ho asem no
ne ga lo se fa nyina pobo
so anyi o ma me no wanya neba wa dwan fucking
na ne bere no so me so me pese ko di bebe na hotwe mensa e da wo se mini obi am sika bi da me hwemo nyansafo okroma nyina
enemy
ko di sika so no da ko di ejema ko di
eni asagoro me wo ho
etiminia
ani samu a
o hwe me di sika no e wo baagi me pesa uji esi ho ade mami na nyame ya duro me kona me ba me na ta amana ede aso
ko me srew sika ho asam de me srew pa chopa sika ho asam dabi sika titi ni pantem sika ɛna ama ɔman Ghana yɛne ɔman bi nye free ebi si yɛde ɔmo ka bebree
mini ɛmɛ kasa nkyɛntie ɛmpɛnfo si esuo bi ɛti nkɔbɔ nsuo mu
ɛne ɛsɛ nkyɛ na ano adwom mu
ɛna sa mo kura so wu tanka temare die ma na
dabi ɔdan die mu ɔnkɔ baabi a
eti mini ade tene yɛ nwakyɛ mi judi eti mi sɛ wada wama je
hwɛ no kora aka sɛ gyidi anim obi ntimi nsɔ ani enti so wagye me adidi abade a wode yɛ mate
jiso na wotwe me nsa pɛ
na wotwe me
me
nsa
ba na ni nyina kɔ
nyɛ de akɔma no
sɛ de kɔgye
adanseɛ na yɛ
mesro ni
danseɛ na yɛ
bibia sɛ de kɔgye no mamimi mu kyerɛ
hɛn dodoɔ
oh mamimi
hɛn dodoɔ na kyerɛ asɛm de yɛ sabi
wala ɔsɛ ɔsɔ ho no
kai salebe abele wabedem
etimi ni a wunim me nkyɛ
ɛnkyɛ
mɛkɔ na wotwe me nsa pɛpɛpɛ no meba ne ɛkɔ ne ɛde akɔ akɔma no enti kewo we de bɔ me na ine gya me kakra sɛ wonyi so a wode trefɛ dɛnsɛ a wayɛ ɔnuma ne na bɛkɔ aba
mate
nyame nhyira wo
enti wo deɛ
hwahlali wɔyɛ bibia ato bo asɛm no
mate kasa
fata paa no ɛfa nkɔ me ba no so bye
woka patapaa wobɛyɛ ma Ghanafoɔ abɛdi matɛm sɛ mento nyansa nwom wofrɛ m patapaa ame abɛdi matɛm na ɔpepe aduɔson deɛ wode gya me sɛ asawa ɛmono nko a ɔpepe aduɔson akoa nim nyansa enimire mu de ɔpepe aduɔson agya nipa kyerɛ no koraa ka tɛ sisogye nipa di na de ɔpepe aduɔson ama meɛ na ɔtwe mmienu keka kɔ ne na ɔtwe mmiɛnsa so na aha mede tɔn adeɛ anka menya so mfa soɔ na mɛkan san sika ne na ama fie no san wɔsɔ mɔkyerɛ fasa bɛwɔ mani wɔdɔ nti mewu anya hwe a wohu nti manya tafo bebree nanso mema wo koraa maka kyerɛ mo sɛ me yɛfrɛ bibi sɛ alebe me mmɔfra se yɛde yɛfrɛ me alebe kyerɛ sɛ sika mo bɛdi sika ma mo wura bɛho wobɛdi sika saa na wusu na toɔbɔ wopere dodo meɛ na bu me bɛsɛ alebe kɛseɛ mu banketu ɔma alebe mese metewa menni ka pere wɔ me ho kyɛ sɛ menni wansidi koraa ɛne sɛ menni ma yi kasa sɛ nka wɔ mo nya yi na nka enti no wo deɛ Nyankopɔn yɛ adom a
Papa so hu.
Say woman me hijack here. They say me hijack here.
Yes, seven songs come ko yiska wa power when you ma. Me call no come ko to me bro me ba.
Wo ba ye.
And this guy show butobu. No papa pesa. O ska. O ne ska no.
Sa un price sa no.
Minja ide.
Say wunni to afam. E fie se die.
Mo papa me ka say mfa ma me di ma mo won ne ba bi.
Ana me ka say wo to afam fie se die. Ya me ka say wo.
So I'm in church, Muncho. I'm from Cabo, what Yamaya? Who have you one on the Casa? Cabo, who Yamaya? What have you one?
Me na wo yam tel. Me na wo yam tel. Sa wo de mama akwara. Yam pa bibi ma ni ana.
Da bibi zefe.
Na be si dai.
Mama chako. No fam. Na mebe ma bu de sinche benya kakaza mo na chemza ko hospital. On so na mo mebe.
Na wan se di do anum.
Honestly,
ka unya asre no asa malaria tinka unya asre bi nya koko ahaban na nya we jama haban ni bi na nka ono aya nka no anu no nka ho beto
doctor
ani esikani ho wusa wa no kat so jeje mi ade amaji ofia ha no panifo kasa no anu dem fie ko me ka asem ya chiro me nuaba de tie ne se me twa sika bi anim me so ma me bai kura se nko nkogimra ba okọ ne nsanka enti me srawa ko busumi me anu se de nyame ya adom na so ote ase na hu ya bra ba ji sika ni bi ko wi sai
fala ha me bai le jamin na fa sa mo cho
me se wa so we Bibi wa he. Wa wo boni a wo to ba bi nka. So wa wo boni pa. Wo to ba bi nka.
Abo konfa kono no.
Na what is that?
Say ka say ko na ba. Wo dia me metu fia. De bia me bia na wo kana wo kasa.
Na me ye
o many person ye fe. O man person ye fe.
Na me ye me a me ka say de bebe ye.
Mi ya na de. Aso ko mi wa kuma e kosu se ya de.
Na kosu free say.
Na busa me kwaso e.
Me ni mi aba ka say.
Busame kwaso busame
wa wuni mu akai o asa ma ha ho busa
mini asa mi ba ni biso me be so asa mi da wutwa ya wo ba bi nyere enjere
anya ni sa o ase wo ba no aba ese ka kina na wo twi mi nu wa ba ntem ba o me bia ya ma wa ba
mini ya de bro aja mi ko ya me na o ma
bibia ye
na eja mi wona ni para me di kare frame se me bra aso eja mi so eja me pa me ho ase mi di hu ni etimi ko nyame da ma se de mi sika kire o mi sika bi ja wona mi be seka e kina nyame ya duma ele ta mo ne
tinka diska no be ko
edi ka me be ji e dia ko na chi nyame ya nopa nu ni na
ka ya de ko unfortunately
mi ko ampuja
unfortunately bibiasi
say the entire
BBS de ko afem se wa wonim kurom ha sei ye ntete gatam ni ade ti aman kura ne ntefra dosun kuroi mu se me no kasa mi bie me trank mu kire wo a won
eti me no kasa mo pa cham se skaram ni beja wo skaram ni beja wo wai
se me no kasa ma kasi kasa
Dabi me ho de me ko ho
udan fa ma ho fa
ko jana me no kasa sikaro ai wai de ni me ko bi ja skara wai sisan skara wai Shukran. Me see, sikana me ba bosere me kwachi ya no.
Entimo, kura mu han ta fara ni kura ni ade.
My God.
Ama me hwe sikana wa me hu sa. Ta trank ni. Me ra zero bebe ati ti ku trank ni.
My God.
Na de di ka na zero ye sikana wa ni. Me ya. Se kura mu han kura, me fie na. Wa mu ja ya gidibia. Ana wa mu ta fara wa ma mu fi me sikani ginada. Nam se na kani pesra ko amfa na ade ko na wato mi ni ba enkura ti ni am sikai nam se o da bi na wasa me de kotu nkura social welfare enkura pani fo enti me de ko nkura ai enkura fo no pani ho ti se enkura ni se
Hey, Pamela, what Cassandro? Minimiseka, we are penina when you see when you film Yansa. Ya metranse hu se ka me ko ba bi me fa ma chinya wo na campaign force ka wo de ade Japanina ka wo pa wo mere
Chese ya wo pa wo be
na etimi hu nyansa fa de ma me ja so nyansa fa enti chese wa kire me se enkura center frɛ awisika no Mami santo me hemi ha minia so no se me da bia metaka se nyame di bibe wi asade na pɛ bossen kani me kan na kama chiwa papa na nso me mawo na nsa bomadi fisika no e fa brem na bosia no me fa koma ni fa kro no anya sa matinta tukoko e de akiro
afra ya mpesa me kire nyan se en plan na na sa na o tu ni se de wo mu be wi na wo awudi be no ya bu awo be wo awudi fa
me ya so de ni pesiti ube wi ase etu ohunu se etu ohunu wi ase wo hunu se tefre awisika enti nkura enti matima awisika 75 million
chese na nkaba ko fura yemi ya chese na se me yo what ya se ma wo ba
wo dia twemi na me ba eye twemi na me de me ho aba na me ba twemi
mi esika yi na me ka se sika kura mpo no na ka ofa no ka se asem film so ada ban di ho na adu be ja me ya ban na man kan pa na na me gini de man gini bi o bom ya po ni ma wu na bu na po ni ka pre pra de ya me yi na be wa tre ba bi a be sika no kwa si asema apa ayi ko ba million ana de ba na ma ka bi I'm sorry, I'm a man. I got to watch him go crazy. But yeah, actually, I got now what you mean. You say, what? Oh, why, and now I'm in Yanni. Me, Johnny, I'm back as I'm Pamedi. And now can you miss Sandy? Whatever my son, remember that. And you want to be myself, no. A full different, in a receiver. I don't put an answer. Me, that. And maybe I said, 75 million.
Onyama dream me young papa. Onyama drinjo mi yankopa 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 I don't know se aprameten
onyama drinjo mi yankopa onyama drinjo mi yankopa onyama drinjo Meyankopai. Bema. Bibia bako de wa.
Kohwe. Wodi mi sika na ba.
Enu ntina na me. Sika no nkoma ntina na me. Chese mada. Mage ho a. Chese me hu sa de hu besia enya atenka bi afa. Se nkokura no sabio. Sika no. Se tansi di mpo. Ana men kan se Papa Dacazzi, what? Then I said, you will see at that. I saw him Diafa, and Yamana Mihu. So I said, now for 75 million. And they say, who by that Jessica Yamana?
My family was his son, one my damn your crime, man clay, man clay. My family was his son, oh my damn your family. Kowie
Kwame Gwache wan
ka o ma me hu se ke wi asike di nua na ye nua ba ko hwe wa ma me hu se my papa no me wo kowie entu be Kenya sasema chemu sika ihu a kowie enti menye den na baba wa ekura mi hia na ye
ewi ase no
Ago
hey But it's a bitch.
I go.
What
Me mama home.
Yeah. What are you sick? I know. Mammy, what are you sick? I know.
Koshe mama busa me kwan so na me mama ne.
Eh say zikalenti na abana. Ya ba zikalenti na abana. Say zikalenti no na. Na bo bege.
Mr. Boache.
Mimi aba.
We dey wa wani tua. Panifo
Say zikalenti na man.
Wadaroma wa wonim de nti amenam. Ejakusi MP area. Me pie yi de na te za asem adanko. Eda asem so nti. Ene ma honya hanaja.
Asem wala bekebe yo. Asem yankuna wala bekebe amami yo. Ankuna wala bekebe mi amami yo. Ankuna mi yo kamafo. Ankuna asem wala bekebe amami yo. Ankuna mi yo kamafo. Ankuna mi ni daso. Ankuna mi yo kamafo. Ankuna
Mame, we dey all come. O kama fo kire se wo beto no sa anwum wo begi sika na sa anwum we nyina ama eti bra ja me de ama wawi am begi afi na abepe kama fo we lawyer enhia lawyer why sika no a
Miriam Asoma
Mame wanyiru ho a wontua wo wo gina ho sa anbi no de atoto wo chi atoto ayi pe no ukoye no ba asoma de nyina wo
eni oba so
wa ba so pen no gina ho ba sa sa
me yere na
Emma, we go so many kasa. Sabe ya ko be ko na o ti ni se te pra. E ko ba na ti o pa ni be fa so. Wa so. E ti ma me ko na ti be si bia wa. Dem no kan na.
Sister me pa cho.
Dem no kan.
En fi dia plant o ja orka. O aso o kabi mama. Enso o sasem.
Say
Dem se we na yo ko. Na mi se me na yo ko a asem to a won ti ni ye de. Amati be tu ni bi o sika asem to me a. That's why they are some to me. Why you me ama? Sister, you never did pound chow. Me pound chow. What dear? Mammy black a car.
Mr. Boache. Men show one no from Bible see when Yakupon crown fan and nepa mam kanamaima. And no tin am hwe ni papa pata se wo na me di misika ma wo. E bra na so sa me ba baje. Christo krampo no. Ne ne ma wo di ja ye no. E bra na so kwa ko bu atenti bra na dru. Sa wodi misika mame enti maba fa mame na me free ha tia
Oh, mama, sister, Mrs.
Nyabo tre.
Oh, there is time for everything. That is to be one of them.
And they tromika.
Oh, yeah, fa mame bra.
Boache, e wo ho afama no no kwai. Ade no de asembe kre ni.
Papa talk say.
Sampa boa no boarding. Sampa boa na wa woro no.
No
boarding pa. No boarding.
Hey, I don't know what many people ni same. Mame. En ko wi ase ho be dan ni papa. En so ma yo.
Mame. Aha, 6 o'clock. Me chira ni watch ni ye. Yes sir, no boarding pa. Disco watch. Yeah. Oton abetimi de atewo kaso.
We are there.
Oh, mammy, not day. Oh, run Pietro. Oh, Sana Trimo. Watch it.
Mr. Boache. Men pet. What would a mamma near?
Who's who do you put 75 million? Okay.
Or to not go to baby, as soon as senior, as soon as senior. May yes, I open the bonus. Oh, Java, and I'm
They say, Korea. There be near my what did you pay?
Na me bi atufo so ma me dia bro.
Nya botre ni pa nya sa.
Ni ma me control. O chuna me sa ba say no mo a. Wo be hu o moja ni. Sa se pan fo say sa te dia kan moja be do aye bi suo na fra. China wo be hu. Me so wa futuo bi a tu no. Nya sa bi ba.
I say.
Ba se
it is a ministry what you papa.
Ba se.
Ya na mi so ni.
Ani aboache. Me ko fie gakra. Why? Na me ya.
No me dit na ma so. Na me tese wu.
Wache ya.
Wo me ke desa sami. Wo what is ka?
What won't Kanaso? William Sam Yalifo. Woman, Yaboy Alifo. Woman, Yaboy Alifo. Sana Diame. What's the China? What's the Member China? What it? What did it see a woman yet? Yamana pie. Mekopra. If you know, Yako for Twitter, and Mammy Hubium, Menoyaka, and Mammy Fee, Saba Jusica.
Ma. Abusia, see a person Yasio. We have a panel. It's a while. And I told you, also ocean. Ora, then anybody is really at it. For several foot, so be the idea, and never Basabasa. Ubini will require a dear so. Would you, Papa? Yes, Papa. We are Bonia. Bonia, and Glacier. Or of war. The Robbers what to us. 2 years, the catches will be dry, and 1 baby will be dry. And the Pasata, Cecilia cries, Cecilia made 10. Cecilia, your mother. Was you so nipa, make us some money.
Missy will be cool. I am with Sabio, yeah. Now I am what is the Carabana? I guess you know what? Watch it. Watch it, son. Yeah, Medici. My dear, Barbie said, oh, dear. Ah, as long as. Mema watch it. Yeah, Nyabutre, what it? Sabiota Flash, my trust, I don't know who says Sabi. We've been cool. Am I am with Sad, dear, yeah. Lemon, the Japadia, and your Busa. A Japadian, your Busa, to Sabi Sicania, dear Japadia. Mo, mean to me, you Sika. Now, I'm first Sicano, and Mommy was up for him, and Obi Kurana, Bafakurana, Sabi. I was a bomber dynamic pebby shower night. Until no one among a meet you. Now, my yes, I see you, Yeji. So, Joey, I mean, I make a say. My yes, I see you, Yeji. Now, almost a memorana. Mematon, my new beer or better. Into Mquaco Dim Jumaba, Namadu Sicabro. Now, Sabio, Mancansi in Saco Cromotim Mopo. Me baba yin so we wakoye me yonko an wo kurom ha me no adi agurache before se kwakwa ogubu aje before se kwakwa me no wa mo eti misra wa me bayini hwe no so ye ma me wate na me koba me du sika brewa me baba je mba
pos nanti on patchem se odu baba no wadi mi sika wa mfa ama o ba ye kokotia ye nransa fesika nsa ama One Baba Sabra said, why yes, I see you age. A do what on only 1 point. A do what on and Sicana.
Me do Sicabro.
It is said, Odo Baba Abba said, would you be down?
Me the knee jow. I said, Piano Suman,
all pointing.
Piano Suman. Now me call. Nasa Bibia to Sana Quanam Transa, Sinivia. And yes, we see can ye go Utagarama. We see can ye. What do you mean?
No problem.
Why? It's very about Nibiani. Yanka Samadishan and Aman. Can you see ye, man? Namu Mujidi. Tinam de me Beja one. Oh, and it's Mr. Can you see ye, man? What it? Sabe, Nameko, Sabe. Me no me penquafon. And to me Sabe me Bansum penquafon. Obayam Quiaman one. Mr. Manamunkum. Abenquano. Me pede o gina so to ta ye de apie enam nko a me srewa ma ne shawarma ni pizza enu bi no odie tinu ayelengelenge no oni hwe wo wi awanum drink bi e de akoda anajudu bi enu wo solididi minim so ye baifo nso wo mpepo koku de ne bo ba hyehye no ti ya no ama no drink ya e de e bia coconut and pineapple juice bi na dia man anadwo no mienu bia nso solid di mesrewa ya nanya no sole na pe bibi ma ni ma me wate me da se bebre ene ko bu ase
ele pania
be mana
wa ka se bebre aha bi e ko na baby kakra e na ba me no nko na me di chewni
fa cha me
ko to asa ko di hia mi o
ho ni hia aba
ontina
yes
it me show baba eso ma no bi pizza shawarma bibi bia wodi
ya man bi ni ma me wate
me so se ya usi do me no ne pepepe
ya ne pepepe
o ba di besi bia fa ne sa
mate o se
o bi wo wo se ye ne sa fa ne me fi
ana me ka chiro se nya botre wi aso pra wota
me hwe so
nya botre ma ho wate boko me da se bebre
minia eni na me fa ko me da se ma furu abobo ya na abobo ya
eni asa aburo me nya nduru ye gia eno nko a o me nduru ye gia no na me furu
uti ufuati mi ju mama me fa ka cho Ele go na ko bi. Ele di loto. O di lota. Say ya 100 million. Ti to si kan 100 million. 100 million. Ko ele ni pa bi se ko put doctor team. Any that spot mo. No mo to wa okoya. Akoya fa hen ki no di hunu. Ade was e minya. Na se am ka hu ye mi timi no. Ade was na se me niska. Na say ya mo ska 100 million. E ti be ka mo. Sa bo bre.
Kwasi eso. Bebe na. Yes, sabe. Agro ya dem. Na de san kwa. Enka sa ne ne kwa kurase ni ba bia. Na de san kwa dufo. Me da se bebre. Nana, wa be yo apedi ama. Wa de.
Nana, fa
wa be yo apedi ama.
Fa mi kurampo. Me so se pizza wo.
Dada ketwa no no. Pizza ni de ya mfa bia ma o ye ni sika de beto. Enti wa na beto. Sasi eto wa. Beba.
Nyame fanko.
Semban ma.
Nyame fanko.
Ko. Wo semba ko a wanya no nie wa.
So o ke sika die.
No ni asem no. Eno na nkaja. Kami bu sa so obenya 1.5 bia ma me a. Na kame di afaka. Na me duru kwa so na me hyerehye ku ya matobi adi.
No, ate. Uko udi mani mo na. Asa tie bi ba to koko. Ka te so wo 1.5.
Koko wura no.
Koko
na koko no. Tank no cry say. We be me ho fa ojai. Me fa for.
So for tasa si we yet.
Me for Thomas as na so pe kasa dodo. Da dia. Nana, we do pizza. Why?
Yo.
Ni be ya be ma sama bo. Onye yo, ala sa be be wura ma sama. Eni perim di e ba tuni. O si odo ajabe. Indesia so be pizza shawarma
ne shawarma
where the pizza da who say magadi
person
oh da ho ma hade okay just say mamre ampa the plena bia pre come ba ma mi fa
na ape
oh me to shawarma ma yenko shawarma no yenko why me dia mi tuwe mi mpa mi wasemo no kwete kwa wini mo koma ponche ne beti no fifre sei me dia me pa me wasemo wache ye no bia ka kam kasa bitwe me dia me pa me wasemo ani mo ya me tena me no
me so akotre kwa wini ma koma ponche ne beti ho fifre sei ni wache me se me pa me wasemo me pa me wasemo ye obi akoka be kame akamete wo kwa menye maji se meji sika bi obi akoka be kame wahamio wo so hamio ye mema wate se bibi aboko de
ala wo yi so wala
ade a bibi awo
asika wo
me dia wo de jayo me wo wepo
ma me fa wo ni nsi
eye bati
sa ba di uni sika ba na ka so ko pasa asibio
o ja metu ankama tu dada de tie nyina ne se akwanto ndi me koye no enyipa no hwe asase na me twa ma ne na akwane nani ate wo ha ba bia me twa asase na ma no na dodo na wo ye jinsu onim ama se da bi say ye nsuo na me twa ma ne de a nsuo no enam a wom kan ho ana nam so da bi enam de wom de community ne de o meba ba yi akoton ma se na ne nsuo de me de ye de wose sa ho na akoye nsuo no se ma amfele amana anya sase prada wonto ene me ne o ene me ne me so de enkonto half plot no keke o se da
sikaman so ye twen se de
amara wa kame
obi
pananam sam obi ko onso wa chewa na mintimintie
minu dako asitro basikano umpo ene mediska
dabi o mpese me ba franka oso wo baba inko ma ye matu se de me fila kwanto mba wo ye matu no wa ma me baba na me ye matu
o baba
kaka wuchirim me ko na 3 days pe me enche me srewa eni na wotwe mi eni na nsape na me ko ye
na wo do baba bia be fia
man fa me baba ma fia krasi jaji minu na fa baba na me ne jaji asem na wona me ka no
wota
me da
wo baba bi ofia
akwa wo didi a wona mo nkwan aha
krasi kwati ko ba na wo baba bi ofia
me baba ni fia o be so chemse
na wo sa ba me ka
dabi me mo na be se ntra wa de fitu ani
masa wo baba bi ani fia na kwa wo baba bi jam
akwa wo didi a wona mo nkwan aha
when my smasia and then you went from a Cassibia empet with Daniel to go whom
some catchers say I would be there
hear me hear me and pet to be to see Crumia Ugutafwa a German quab a fee ye walk here and petty or what to fear go whom
I will not forget you
my pedestrian ababa bi na me yesema ware no e peta na turu ko whom na we na me say me kwa baba ba nhwe fia ma me peta ye ho no ko whom peta na ho ko asema ba peta na ho ko peta na ho ko
peta na ho me
wa fone de ko mi ho ko
o ya asema na ba
oh na me no na tie me twatwa che da peta na ho ko
dabi o no ho e o se peta ho asema na ba da
adena dabi you asi na me ya den ho ko
na me pasa me ka se me tira me nya wa hene ko kra ni sisi me nya hene brantie na wo ya chacha wo pesa wo kama tiri mu ma na sa di bi sam sa gen me ka da ho me srawa entutu a ma ho me tira me sam ma be ni me sro pa chopa
Minya mami kama wote ase mami kama peta ono ko na minya den asen
aje na dabi o
peta ono ko na minya den
peta ho me ba no ko e beti mi asisa
asi sisa peta ono ko
peta ho me ba no ko wa hu anim wa nim na eso hene kwakora konwa fa no so hu anim me ba na wo so mo cha 70 million no amen me ba no 70 million no afede ama me na tisai
na me da so sha ma kan fo na ebre
watanfo de on bebre wo mo agi usika wo mo ntua nyina wo bebre
o da na do na ma sole he o mo
adai
se ba
e no gira ho no na de meme kwaje kwaje
na ma tese ne radiasi
miss
afede you are not den afede you are not den
bia yi na say because so go Pentecost I be better na fasting bia so for the trauma me I maybe more was it 40 day fasting
wabwa yesu kura wo ye fota wie no ayemle yesu kura na agyenkwa no ye ntwa so na be ntokwa
mami minim sem sika yenti
na dikadi enti no obeba ha sika na gene ko
na me pesa kan kore etro
sane say ho
no kore
me pesa me pia bonten
empie ko bie ja empie
we de obi se me pesa me sere
sere
e bi di
Mama me kasa na me kasa bi.
Afode me jame sa.
Akwa bi na. O wa so dem. O wa so dem so betonwom. Ni afro se tonwom pa afro se enu na so fo betom do afi. Na so fo na honhum se ntika me. Eni bi na wo yi.
Se me se ho.
En come instruma. No kura e ba ko pe.
Mami nyam na me na wa. Na mo to ase.
Jina. Sani samani. Enne me ka no kura. Me ka wie pe. Na se usika ma police for akra chime na me hwan dey atomi. Papa ya ujini di bebrebe yi.
Etino na me ya.
Papa ya ujini di bebrebe yi. Usika na me baji ye no. Ma me mani o.
O sana me ka se.
Usika no 75 million no. Ma me mani o. Me tu kwan ana me sika no ko ma ne se gifesi ho na ka won 3 weeks. Na watwe me ensa na me bam do sika na ide abraw mem dis ka ko ma papa me ba yo ka che me se entefre awi ni sika awi sika no
Jesus sika na me de ma wo na ko di ko hiegu
ko hiegu ana de man se offense o ma me yo ma me de ko adwumaden anya oni offense o ma me na me ko ba wo ye panyini me ni nyina to aso de abrawa wo se sika no entefre awi enti
me papa bega ya ni sumu na sumi ni abema
ni bronco ya sumu na so
employee wa beji sika wo me ho wonchire wa wo ka tell say beji uyonko kwa ana so sorry be na wo ka tell me na do ma na wo be ka tell me say wo na wo da wo dem na do no wa na wo be say wo tell say me dey na ma die
sister
abati ye no mo sale nsema me bo ka tell me ni na tell o no ni sika na wo be
sister me di onyankopon din e pa chentem se na me ka no krom bia ide a kire sika no me nyan mani me de ma me nuan se oye panyina na ni afi okrom ya onfansi wo
point of correction now we already the reality ya we jina we ya the reality from head to toe
ya sika
na the medical
me nya ba utie me no bia ntie me ye empanimfo so pese ohun obi adwena ma ne post no mu na bohu de hositiye me diska na me nya se ko ye panyini ka panyini ne hwikofo we fitani wi a de abachire nyina ye nyansasem na tie aha na be wor no se wono o se ni ho tie onsam dia ba ya bia bra so no ntena enye mi bu shani no eye ne papa eno no otu kwan eno de na baba be jame se me ne baba no tie menene ntra
me ba na na kwesi awowa entu ba so tasa wo de me baba na kwesi awowa
sada tie boate sada tie na wonu se wanya jimifo agro edua no ye nyire so etisi se ne baba no obaye se do ka che me se ntefre awi misika me so me se pete aho ne bara eko entu obaye he kunta kwara won ti ase no
pete timi ho me bada dabi o pete ye de ho me ba mama bi je ya na mo se ya fana fa me ba man what na bi je ya
asamono like ajime nsem
I don't sama jo na
asamono ya me nwanwa esan se so for be dia kan ya o se ade nyina so be bie da ide ya chi se yo se enyo ene eso abie se de ko si ye bia no sa na awie ye bren etie na okan ya na ya na hudwiri
e be yo hu
me fa bone enti abone ka
papa be
se kan no enti na che wo ba no ana me do ba no be sia wo wa enti masa na me mom dia me ka che wo ne se bia de bota chi no eno anye
di boba
emudu ya de yawo ana de wo de ba yawo donko no e kokokokokokoko a esan e ba wo so sene sen obi di sika ma wo sa fato wa wo ti ka sene se enkura awi sika no se se wo
na nkura bo ntafre
ama asam na kodi o se enkura
enkura hin so moka asam
wa wo ka che ni pa da se ni wo san kenya asam ma ne nta so enti ni nyina ne se ewiase a ye wo no edua ye de bo ba na no an ye de bo tachi eno nti se wo no obi dili a ana sa wo tire wo nsa ba ako e hwe wo nua so anan na aka ni nyina e hwe eno nti wo me yamfa adwen pa ene adwen mu tie e mo bra ye boy se ya ba ya ewrade nyankopɔ be hu ye mɔbɔ na de ye bia so obetutu ya na mo amana si enhyira kwan so esane se se bra yi mehwɛ di akwakosi ya ka mefa ne ba no na me se me tɔn no se me ni de ho na nka ni misika na betele adɔfo mo fa asunya bia bi mfiri we mu se efia ya de ba ban no anye de botachi enya bɔni bebre ta so wo ye ya esan e ba wo fo de ba we ye fu e ma ye ho na ti akwa ya de wa na shi amen.
Kofi Edu, born May 25, 1969, also known as Ejako, is an actor and a comedian from Ghana. He has appeared in over 200 Ghanaian movies, including Obatampa, Awebas, Black Star, and Matrikul. Edu is originally from the Ashanti region of Ghana, but lives in a suburb in Accra, Newtown called Asantua. He worked as a cobbler. Edu was discovered on a Ghanaian comedy show on GTV at the National Theatre in Accra, where he worked as a comedian, warming up the crowd before the main drama is staged. In July 2008, he was awarded a national award by then President John Ejekum Kufuor. Although he originally journeyed to Accra to sing, Ejako has been featured in many Ghanaian movies, 15 of which remain his favorite. Avoiding the normal procedure of thorough reading of a script before acting in a film, he told Joy FM's former morning host Kojo Opon Nkrumah that whilst actors and actresses are typically given script 2 weeks before they begin shooting, his God-given talent allows him to improvise without a script. He has been in movies with Apoaje Brenya, Lewin, Kweku Menu, Mercy Asiedu, to name a few. In June 2016, Edu got remarried to Rita Asiedu in London, UK, after dating for 4 years. He was previously married to Victoria Owusu Adomako but divorced. He is a Christian. Ejako was featured in numerous movies such as King Soap Concert Party, Ejako Gbengbentus, Three Desperate Friends, House of Commotion, Evil Plot to Break My Home, Kumasi Nyonku, Obi Nim Ewieye, Ka Unai Toso, Asil 419, Business Partner, Gina Painting, Bonisu Aketuya, Opatampa, Black Star, Otanhuna Kwa, Matrikul, Ejako Trotro Driver, Johnny Walker, Ohia, Awebas, Insempi, Shio Banka, Busumba, Kwejo Besia, Sikaya Moja, Nyami Bechere, Ejako Mechanic, Abruchere Abrabo, Ejako Bank Manager, Asem Abifie, Kanka Nyami, Onyami Asem, Ejako Jai, Kayayo, My Soldier Father, Obi Diaba, Nipa Insane Nipa, and many more.
Yo, abisiafo, same kaye. Die ani ehu na ye di ho adanse eno nti wo gi agua na wo hwe me ne wahu die wanya wo mu afutu sem wanya bibi wo mu a wo de beba wo ntoma ano na wieye bire wo de abobra aha na saa de we nko a ewo entan si wo channel bia mu eno nti me pese wo ye bibi mame me pese wo subscribe wo like wo comment na wo share for more videos. GH News now ye wonu ma papi e de mamo eno nti me koso ade aseda ama Quality medical supplies. Omu no mu kra ya sene ama ye de sa adwuma die we ebrem asoro aseda chenchirenche aseda sonko kra e na ye de ema wo mu eno nti da senne medofo ye besan ahia eno nti gebre se ya na san e be hwede ye wo mamu. I love you all.
Me say yeah dear baby, 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 yeah dear baby,
yeah. Oh yes, Ghana mine. GH News now, dear baby, mo biemo. GH concert party now. Attack enemy dom at the brain. Na GH concert party now, yeah. Ye be wunu nipa bi to say attack. Suma.
Oh, so wa won fa bag ma say bi da. Me ama me fa beja wo pan. At least lazy nyina me na me bo na de.
Forever young.
In the say opposite etia sorry. Mimi de menka ho.
Anyone a ekeka wo bebre, me say, wo be serial paise to. GH concert party butaya nyina ne say, ye bebo ya mamra ene ya mane wo boy wo kwasro kosokra. Ahwefo nyina sane so say GH News Now concert party ya de bremo na watwe we ene na watwe biara. E wo GH News Now so GH News Now ye won the papa bebre di mamo.
ɛyɛ amammerɛ ne yɛamanneɛ momma yɛmbɔ ho ban
ewie ahwɛfoɔ nɛ nso yɛmfa aseda piesie paa ɛma otwadi ampo nyankropɔ bɛsɛ yi adɔm de ɔbɔ soro ne asase na ɔtete fɛndɛ ɔtɛ de nyino me no mienu na ɔho me nkwa ho me gu ye mu ma ɛnɛ yɛ ɔkra te asefoɔ obi kɔ ɛna yɛwɔ hɔ enti sɛ yɛwɔ hɔ de a yɛna nase na ɔyɛ ɛfiri sɛ na dɔyɛ ɛwɔ hɔ daa na Nimo Agennodua bɛma ba ɛnɛ nso magye adwa yi na bedede be na ebrɛw dwumadi be ya tere din sɛ asantenkae ɛno na mede brɛw na nɛ yɛde sua no ɛyɛ de bɛn efiri hefa na ɛba ɔhu sɛ wiase yi mu no ɛmpanin bu bi sɛ bɛda yɛyie ɛne sumina saa nso ɛna sɛ obi sua wokɔhwɛ ɛnkwa yɛ na mɛnsoa no nkɔhwɛ owuo ɛtumi ka sɛ matɔnkyene akyɛw nanso wo deɛ wode moko ɛna ɛdam ase saa ɛba ahodo a mewugu nyinaa no mesrɛ meka sɛ wodwen kɔ akyiri a bohu sɛ mede firi baabi na ɛba ne nyinaa ɛyɛ ɛneyɛ bi a obi da n'adi kyerɛ yɛ a yɛne gye ho ne nyinaa ɛyɛ akyɛdeɛ bi a sɛ obi kyɛw a sɛdeɛ w'ani si ɛgye ho enti yɛde sua no ɛnɛ ebesi ani so ɛne ayɛyie so
asantenkae ɛyɛ amammerɛ ne yɛamanneɛ momma yɛmbɔ ho ban
ani so ɛne ayɛyie so obi ayɛ ade amayɛ na yɛni asɔ anaasɛ yɛni agye ho na yɛni so a ɛsɔ saa adeɛ no nti yɛyɛ biribi anaasɛ yɛka asɛm bi ama na ayɛ ayɛyie a yɛde ma saa nipa no ɛsɛ bɛda ayɛyie ɛne sumina bɛda sɛ ɔno na sɛ ɛkɔ wura mu na sɛ ɛnya adɔdɔdeɛ a yɛde gu ne mu yɛde ne bɛdu fie nanso yɛde bɛdu fie na yɛyi adɔdɔdeɛ no firi mu a yɛmaa so apɛ yɛde no akɔto sumina so nti wɔ sɛ bɛda ayɛyie ɛne sumina
Minya, my Minya now, who is she? Come on, your master, Miss Minya, Mr. Dear, what said a miss the woman, woman, maybe penny no, was Sally. Oh, no, did not cook on free or theatre here, what it in Romano. No, Minya, Maniama, and Cacra. There, we are McQuarrie, no, the conformist when you're 2 million, of opinion. Timmins, almost Kenyana. Papa so glad to kind. My friend na minyano timsro. We dear, hena na mani na boa what minya.
Na se minya no. Nti me was kind to open mo amemwa. Minya no. Na se ska wo me hunu we o ma beje.
Ah, it's be wonya mama. Oh, we se wo me wo. Ah, minya me maba. Me won kwotoje wo da me sra what me si. Oh, to wonya mama. Ya ba de me da wase. Ka ye wa he. Me de mama wo nya se me ntuo minya. Ebetumi abasa anyuma ya kwa me se be kanam de ama wate. Me so
be ba beje ne fiada.
Minya yo.
Menya de ba.
Minya menya ama. Yo me da se. Me kwa de me mo echi ne nti. Me kwa betumi ka de bese bia me fra wate.
Mate. Yo yala. Ka cho se ye address ya kese a wunyai. Me de media address ya ka ba be jan sa wo peposia. Ama me kosu asa manu. Unya ska ji so wanum.
Obi ya ade ma wo na sɛ wanyi na ya ɛya na ɛya obi ya ade ma wo na sɛ wama na hu sɛ ade na ɔyɛ ma wo a na ohunu hu sɛ ɛyɛ papa no wama na hu sɛ ampa wani aso a ɛya na wɔde hyɛ de tirim sɛ ɔno nso onyi bibi ama wo bio
na bidie ka ide sɛ na ɔmo amade asɛ ma wu o bidie aka ni
mama ha
anti adwa Medina see
me pa cho mama nentina sem tikentina mbae mama nsanka
oh menua we dia mesrɛ wati me pa cho for wani tu manim na we dia menye obi da menua won se me fie o tie kire mesrɛ wo
me drus kasa ma me fa me sika sa mu nia
do ma se menua no woni me fa
woni ane mi anka o ji me sika anka o de be den o de be brɛ me se na be ya da chi bi wo pe bi ma mesanya bi ama sika no kwan so nya me dia
And you can be scanning blue. When I'm Mafia. And then I saw no by Sunny Bappany, I did not to do Sini Hoa to Bisca. No, the Aquame Ashaqualano. And then he's coming. And from Mafia to the part song. Saying I'm going to come home with Santiago, and Pamacho, what am I miss? And Mammy, would the baby and Nano pay, not make the apple. Until Mr. Union, and Mons Minya was sad. Meet me for Wusiki, me part or what. What's that, Mr. Membrane? It's not Mamma, but it's kind of video. Or be sick, I'm Smith by Diablo, then Pachomico Diablo. Mammy, maybe slow, Auntie Jua. I must go into Timino. What Pacho, Mr. What? With the phone, you can put this canablo. Oh, what Diablo. Now, when I saw maybe I'm a answer me by. It's Major Minyama Quabla, Memma. I need to phone the same home. Oh, Papa Jabba, Obama, me, Conabra. Why? No, I'm a man. It's any pan wine. It's a new bien.
And in TSA, sir, when you my yard and say me ding, when you my yard and say me ding, be a dear man as a woman in Panaya. No cotina baby, and as a name could you baby, the man found possess any penny ding.
No, me Darcy. Mafia, one me be you.
Me what do you bad?
Until you sick and wabo, can be Jaco Mano.
Sika bay.
Sika no beji and until Mafia.
I also so cry.
Oh, Mafia Jago is an many bread and maybe.
Until
you sick another medima on one bar. What Virginia Sika?
Enti mami ye, Sika ketwa we yam beji ye. And it was a lot of a packet and swallow to 220 say. And to come out of fear.
Mafia.
Oh, Jay.
What I walk
as a Nadia Bisa.
Mafia. What about me? I
was sworn down because I don't want day. I did not see. Eh, I can't afford the dynamic when I'm there. Mafia. I was one of the two coins on to choose, and I'm there. Jadana way and I'm under my brow.
I don't know who bet this guy, the one who's a military missing. Then I may bet out Cabin Musica, don't catch him some military missing. Who buy me catch us canny and charge Jessica? Who's a man from Mount? Now, no, but to this canny beba. This ain't no cast a compay. They just will be a man of pets. Mrs. Academy, Yam, the was out there. I didn't know what woman must say. Hey, and take a mammy, I can't me feel. That quite a woman must say, no beer was a medica. Women must live Kumawali. I can't. I don't know be a money paying for money. And this can here and beg you over to 2 women. Madame, my bro. I know what I do so from a clock round a coin. So I bear my name from me, Adam, and yes, I can't quite beg you home to me. Yeah, my part. I'll be seeing me, the baby. Mafia. And can't Mrs. Canunia be. What to watch it? Said to Mrs. Canunia, and Namro. Obi your papa and family in Jenny. Let you one in a medio. Ti papa my we. Mrs. Canunia be. Mammy, body of coffee. Minibi, Minya, a baby, and many I don't come for anything. So the free common and the common the man from Gobin. I did. He is our couple. I may check also say. Hey, Raddy. We are not the couple saying any I feel come. I said, I'm going to get Tiajua. Yeah, not there's a maca. Not the macaho. Not the maca. Yay. My papa is what to you. Me papa, I don't so be who buy who go to you from. Me I know. Me go close busy come mawa. And I don't catch me some man no more. Yeah, hey, my fiance, me why me say. This guy, go get in a jet, until they become me. Become yo, money become me.
This will be a dear my lay in this and some bensa, Emma, you to me can, and me who's ampa, and there now there's a nino, why am I no? Yenia so, na yenia asono, if free a come na yasumu so panfo. Say ya chedi bi say ye bia ne bi. Yenia je ho, say enyo no bia sa da nanke bu adae. Anansa ya atade bi enyo no a ebia nkasa bere ifantamago. Ebia na yesika bi enyo no nkasa bere ebia na nkaka bi amene enti wo bra sa nipa no aye sa no mana maye no ensem den eni tumi ka manu sampa ande na oye ye no ye ni aso
Asantinkai eya mamre eni ya manie muma yam bon hu ban
ende ye yama kosikoko me kasa no agye kasa afa eya hatena ye de so obi ya de say oh thank you, oh God bless you. Na se nipa no on thank you ase anasa on God bless you ase a obi se dem say de oyeye no eso ase da na ade ma no ye mfa ye de wate ye mfa ya nkasa ye de na ye de eye de na ra ye ti ase endi so bi ya de ma ya ye hwe itime kase oh me tawase obentin ade a ye ma me de me dawase pa me dawase a ensanda obi so kura timi kase dase edimbra bio empeni se emisia odase anopa no na ohwehwe de obedi na nibre nti onipa ne kase dase edimbra bio na kese osanso atafoforo akaho ibi wakwa hihia dumu nipa bi aboa nemo emoa na ode boa wo no entumi ni wu firi sa hihia num na ebeso asane kakra nti umfiri mu ntutum kase dase a edimbra bio esa osanso ahwehwe foforo achede kura na nso no so bi ya de ma wani gye ho a tutum kase oh nyame nhyirawo na chance sa ade na waye no aboa wa ma ayi wa firi atete amane bi mu senkanya sa nipa no a nka wudni de beto sa abre no na waji wonti wo se oh nyame nhyirawo nyame onya okase bi kwati nika se nyame nya obolo na se nyame nya okase enti se bi ya de ma wa ezo tumi ka se bi amani hu se ade na oye ma wo no wani agye ho nyame nhyirawo ano nso ya se bi tumi ka obra obi aya ade ye ni agye ho bi kire no ana itumi ka se mo ne yo ade na oye ye no de mawmo ifise se nka wanye sa ade na ke de ni ngwase bebre no nduwa ya ade pa me to say e bia na wo yo ba wo de ni siga so obi si zo ape na opi so kwa kotonam wo ko na kuja odan fu bu akwa mi e ma ni nkobodie nti abedu fientem e de na so wo kwa kotonam na ya aben bedu fie odonfo bi ahye e de na e de amaw enye ono a ke mu bɛhye nti enam de oye yintu se oh maame me ma mo ene yo ohu me ma mo ene yo
na me be we ja de so a shi me be pa o ja de so a do we je wa ko tra bonte Now boy. Oh. Me ko abonte se me ko to ade aba. No te dia nese so am pie hankash. Aya se mo fa se mamedi. Me ko sha madam fu bi hu na che ne te kasa tenten. Na mo to otwa ma no. Me pie na me twe si ho. Oh, me da se mo. Ba di nshira o kan.
Endi mo ma ye nyisu asem ba ko e na me da se e na ya me nshira. Ni na aye. Nso ya aye nsesem. Ohu. Me ma mo ene yo. Ana se mo ene yo. Na che se wa ya ade se o le sa ade. Ena itimi ka se o wa ya ade. Te se udidi na ebiana na tramo na abofra bi akwose nso di akra so bo wa ya ade wan fa nso ya made a kɛ deɛ ne mentimi ne bio nti woayɛ adeɛ paa
ya ci sai no anya bidiyo mu ya funu mura na ha ben jawa do ya ci mun na mai damn it Loni kama no ci mun dudu ya masa Mama das what and we shira oya de pa
na wanga sansu yi nkonya
oh
we have mama sem papa what me sensu adbaronsa ne mu wanza ne oben
mama na me de me a
kawe mama meto so na ka bibi ya wanga be
do me oya de pa
hey oya boy
oya de pa na mo ka mo what anu ka mo pa
eh o se mu edua ne kwese we
ah what do me na ya pa we come dey fine Alko come dey fine yake
ɛna yɛtumi ka mmo nso mmo ɛndeɛ sɛ asuafoɔ koraa yɛsɔhwɛ bi anaasɛ wɔyɛ sɔ adwenhwɛ bi anaasɛ dwumadie bi na ɔmmɔde mmɔ no ɛsɔ ɔkyerɛkyerɛni n'ani a yɛtumi twerɛ mmo ɛdugu aseɛ ɛkyɛ sɛ wayɛ adeɛ deɛ wayɛ no ɔma na mmo ɔbɔ n'aba so sɛ wɔnyere ne ho deɛ wayɛ no ɔntɔ so a na ɔnyɛ ne saa ɔho ɛne sɛ yɛtwii kasa no ɛɛdɛ paa na wo sɛ wɔnni asante nka yɛkyi na akɔfa baabi bi a wayera mpanin ka asɛm bi sɛ ɛmmoa nyinaa ɛdɔre sradeɛ sua prɛko na nso wɔnto no de asante nka yɛkyi ɛfiri sɛ wɔne pa pii ɛde ma wo obi nso ɛtumi ka sɛ mmo awisi mpɛn pii no sɛ mpanimfoɔ ɛgyina dwom na wɔdaadaa wɔn ho ɔkɔ benkum ɔkɔ nifa ɔkɔ anim na ɔbɔ akyi a yɛgyegyegye ɔmo ho yɛma ɔmo ɛgye ɔmo abaaba no tinka sɛ nana ɔbɛnten ɛna ɛsa nana mu awisi o ha anyɛ sɛ yɛde ɛgye na abaaba na ama ne tiri mu ayɛ ne dɛ bisu kura wɔ hɔ a yɛtumi pagya yɛn nsa sei ɛmanamo pagya yɛn nsa mmienu na yɛde akyerɛ no kyerɛ sɛ deɛ ɔyɛ no ɛyɛ ɔntɔ nkɔ so ayɛ wahu nti yɛwɔ ne pa pii ɛna sɛ obi nso so ɛyɛ adeɛ a ɛde ma yɛ na ɛtumi ka sɛ daase ɛnyama meda wase wɔ nneɛma nya no ɛho meda wase ɛwɔ nneɛma nya no ho wama wo biribi deɛ ɔde ma wo no w'ani asɔ nti wo sɛ meda wase ɛwɔ nneɛma nya no ho nti meda wase ɛnyama
ago hey minia oye wa be yi minia yo then ade boko wona oh why don't you say hey my princess baby girl I say we no bo mama go di na na so mo na mu nya no na mo ti na ebre munia we dey me nkra na bone e je wan kasa onu tua me bia atwam wo a wo me biribi no so I say me so no se bi wo me no minti me nya dan enyi mani sa wo se me beda wase ani tira wo frifie ton aba no onua ewiase no yesi obi yare papa ma wa o sa ase da na yi so I say won nyina ye so a men say ni di so tunyam baya seda pa we de nananum shira nananum shira baya insrane ayi nyina ye na mo de so de woni ha nte wo de de ba chi wadwen bia wonu ya na mi na yen tintia aha ye wo fie na waba wanka so no tua yo se se metua kwa difference abem we kwa yen ketu no na seda no de we de mu ketua na mse mere se wo da so ha ya e se mere pemu no na beda wasi yi pa ande obetwema wife aye yeah why because one say you see no adwuma iso anka so no twara da nti wo se meko na nso ekura san so mu na so nti no nti emre pemu no maba why wo de mention ba ana wo chia wa hwa me okay chama
da wasi a nyama da se kuronto ki ka se mudu o ka bi tire obi a ene mema obi nka se wo ye mpelinse manenka o ka se wo ye mpelinse ma defa o ye mpelinse ampa if say what fact won so say ubi su ye mpelinse ene nti udi asanten kayachi en samono doso na ayana ebronenti yidmi en family na mabra ko pesa bisa esana nkakra nti na yese de bia de echi ko so de echi se de be ya de be bia no ubenya bia suya de be bia no benya bia suya na won so o de kire ejirima o share e mo bia nya bi na wo like na wo follow sa pepe nti de yewo e de ma mo sa bre no eni so eni ayeyi obi ya ade ma wa mani hu se ade a oyema wo me wani aso wani ajoho enti o se me mambo ene wia tiafo na Nimo akrapi bafo Agennodua be maba ene medi me mambo ene hwa e tiafo
Asantinkai eya mamre ene ya manie muma yam bon hu ban.
Welcome to GH Mix. My name is Kwesi, his son Bakon, and you're welcome to another episode. We're picking up a very interesting topic today, and my guest is, full disclosure, great friend of mine, who is also a media person whose program I hardly miss. I actually listen and watch his program a lot. Now, in watching his program, something struck me, which also struck my team, because I was not alone while watching. Few of us picked up something in particular that he said, and we thought it is something worth examining further. My guest for today is a man we all know very well. His name is Black Rasta. He is on, I'll let him introduce himself by way of his media establishment, because I know he just joined the media establishment, but he's also the CEO of Black Empire Media. And another day we'll talk about independent media, and it will be another subject. But for now, Black Rasta thinks that dual citizenship is a disincentive to Ghanaians, and it's on this singular subject that I'm going to pick him on today. You're welcome to GH Mix, Black Rasta.
Thank you so much, Kwesi. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so my first question to you, can you lay it bare for everybody, those who may not have been watching you, what actually is your position to the dual citizenship concept?
Well, it's very, very simple. I think dual citizenship is hypocrisy. I think that dual citizenship is loyalty. You know, and the reason is very simple. Now, if you check it out, the same people who are ready to offer you dual citizenship will tell you that one man, one woman. And the reason is that you have to be loyal. Loyalty cannot be denied. Trump will tell you that America first. So if you are a dual citizenship holder of America and Ghana, what happens? When Trump says America first and Ghana says Ghana first, which one is the first for you? So that is very, very simple, Kwesi. I am saying that dual citizenship is a curse for Africans, and at the same time, dual citizenship is nothing but disloyalty.
So, okay, I can connect with that on several fronts, you know. But let's examine it a bit closer. You are a known Nkrumahist. There's no running away from that. And I mean, to use the cliche tag, Nkrumahist, right? But you are an ardent adherent of Nkrumah's principles. Kwame Nkrumah married from Egypt. Okay, so now let's look at a scenario where Kwame Nkrumah has married from Egypt and his children are having to make the hard choice between motherland and fatherland. Do you think we are overlooking such people?
No, not at all. In fact, you see, it's interesting. I like it from that perspective. And it's like me, who comes from a father who is a socialite, and my mother is a Nabu. In every tradition, they will tell you that they have a system of inheritance. Is it patrilineal? Or is it patrilineal? So even with that, traditionally, you have to make a choice.
But excuse me, I'm sorry to butt in, but that is limiting it to the norms of a Ghanaian traditional system, don't you think? Because now we're thinking about a global system where people may have married from, you know, across the borders.
Yes, I'm going to get to that. But okay. I'm just looking at the Ghanaian inheritance system. I'm saying that even with the Ghanaian inheritance system, you would have to be matrilineal or patrilineal. That means go with your father or go with your mother. The Akans normally go with their mother, that's patrilineal. You see, and the north, the people from the north would go with father, which is patrilineal. But let us look at it in equal space. Kwame Nkrumah married an Egyptian. Kwame Nkrumah Ghanaian, Fatia Egyptian. They have children. They are half Ghanaian and they are half Egyptian. Where do they really want to stand? It's like they have two bottles now. One from Egypt and one from Ghana. Certainly they cannot look into those two bottles, one bottle with one eye. Two eyes. They must take a stand. For me, whether you are, how about those who have African ancestry, American ancestry, they also have maybe some Chinese in them. By virtue of who they are, it means that they are going to end up being Chinese, being American, being this. Where would their loyalty be?
But I get where you're coming from. But my thing is, if we are to go that way, we will actually be trying to determine where people come from rather than giving them the choice where they come from. Because if my mother comes from Afghanistan and my father comes from Ghana, why do I have to choose where I come from? Can't I choose to be from both where my parents are from? Why not?
Well, I mean, this is where I stand, and it's very, very straight. If you have parents from two different countries, for me, I think that you must make a choice. Do you want to go with your father, or do you want to go with your mother? And it's all about loyalty. Loyalty cannot be divided. I mean, say, putting it in the perspective you want me to put it in. Well, I am Egyptian, and at the same time I'm Ghanaian, in the sense of Nkrumah's children. Now, if Egypt says Egypt first, Ghana says Ghana first, where do you go? If there's a war between Ghana and Egypt, and you are a soldier, where are you going to fire your shots?
And personally, I think that's one of the flaws in the law. Because, for instance, a dual citizenship, a dual citizen can go all the way until he becomes a colonel in the army. For instance, by the time one becomes colonel, they would have, known a lot of things which, if they were there, it would be a problem. So we all admit there are flaws with that. But my thing is, I'm sure you're familiar with that, saying that goes like, it's better for 1,000 guilty people to go free than for one innocent person to be imprisoned. I think we can import that thought here. Isn't it better for the few people who are really allegiant to Ghana to have that choice to say belong to their motherland and also their fatherland if they are not serving in a sensitive position, for instance, rather than be forced to make a hard and difficult choice between, like you say, making an allegiance between your mother and your father? That's a hard one, isn't it, Black?
Well, it might sound very hard for some people. people. But for me, no. Loyalty is loyalty. Where does your loyalty go? Is it here or it is there? A house that is divided against itself will never work. I would prefer that a man would say, I come from here, I come from there, but my loyalty is to this part. So growing up, you are supposed to be able to tell where you belong. You can be a resident of one country, but and a citizen of another. By virtue of the fact that you have Egyptian blood in you, you can decide to have residence there. But for me, when it comes to something that is to do with loyalty, no, your loyalty has to be with one country, and that's it can't be divided.
Okay, let's move on. So we know that it cuts both ways, right? So we know they will bring the experience and the knowledge home. We know they will bring the experience and the knowledge home. Have you examined that?
Interesting. I like that. I'll give you a scenario. It's like a man has 2 farms, or he has the opportunity to work on 2 farms. Then he goes and is with the other farm that seemingly has better soil or whatever it is. Then he brings the fruit, some of the fruits to the other land, and he claims he's benefiting from one farm, and he takes it onto the other. I'll tell you, man, these are the dangerous people that we are. Now, Ghanaians who are in America, Ghanaians who are in England with their dual citizenships, and claiming that they are benefiting because they are getting so many different profitable things, that energy that they are putting in there, saying that they are benefiting from the other side, if they had put a quarter of that energy in one country, this country would have become better.
I see where you're coming from, Black. I see where you're coming from, but let's be pragmatic, okay? And full disclosure, I am 100% Ghanaian citizen, okay? So, let's just get that out of the way. But let's really pry into this subject, Black. We know how the Ghanaian economy is currently, not even just now, but look, we know how it has been. But let's just take currently as we speak for an example. We know the situation that's going on right now. So if someone has the opportunity, for instance, Kwame Nkrumah himself had the opportunity to travel to go study abroad. So it is an opportunity for certain people. Scholarships exist for certain people. It is an opportunity, period. Now, the point is, will these kids bring experience, but all they have on their mind is to flee the country when they're done? They are full Ghanaian citizens. You know what I'm saying? We are using the Ghanaian citizens' taxpayer money to take care of them in KATH medical school and all of that. When they finish, the first plane that's available, they're jumping on it and leaving. Versus somebody who has been born in the West, who claims half Ghanaian citizenship and maintains their citizenship because they are American, they were born here, and they want to benefit from going to school and getting great health care and stuff like that, things that we all know they will never get when they're in Ghana.
And I'm going to make it clear. Nkrumah went out there and studied and returned home, still as a Ghanaian citizen without dual citizenship. For me, you don't need to have dual citizenship before you can benefit from some other things that are internationally available to so many different people. For me, I travel out and I perform my music in so many different areas. I studied in the University of Coventry, which is in England, without necessarily being a dual citizenship holder. And the point I am trying to make about this is, in the days of Nkrumah, it was very difficult for Ghanaians to say, I am leaving this country and I'm going to pick up a citizenship in England or America, and so on and so forth. It was difficult. Why was it so? Because the patriotism level of our people was so high. If it is bad, let's all stay here and fix it. Rather than let's run away and take opportunity somewhere and come and help you. No, don't teach me to eat fish. Teach me how to fish. So those people who have dual citizenship, all they are waiting for is which country is better. If it is A, then I belong to A. Oh, if it is B, I belong to B. That is what we see happening.
Black.
Night and day.
The earth is the Lord's and its fullness thereof.
Good.
You know, the earth is the Lord's and its fullness thereof. So, I feel like the argument you're making right now, and I may be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to get to the heart of the subject, okay? So that just like you do every day on the show, so people can, you know, make up their minds on the subject. But what I'm thinking is this: are we supposed to pigeonhole people into countries, into regions, into where they're from, rather than give them the opportunity to decide where they're from if they really have ties to that place? For instance, like we have started saying, if my mother comes from the country but my father doesn't, right, and I was born in the other country, which offers me good education, good health care, all of that, but I still have love for my motherland, and I want to one day go and help, you know, what's wrong with that?
Okay, interesting. You see, that's not the point that we must all understand is that you don't have to be a citizen of a country before you can help. No, we have Americans coming in here supporting us. Chinese people even come and support us in one way or the other.
Yeah, but we're not talking about just help. We're talking about belonging, because again, you are an adherent of the concept of repatriation, I believe. So the lost children of Africa must return home. This we all know is not something that's going to be an event. It's going to be a process. It's going to be a whole process. If all of a sudden all black people in the West just got up and left without having a proper grip on the world balance of power, on the world economic order and all of that, I don't think that's a very prudent thing to do. So I think that having the opportunity to be a dual citizenship for another category of people, which is the stolen children of Africa, there's another benefit from there, don't you think?
I like that. Okay, so let's go into history.
I love that.
How did Africa lose its strength? How did Africa become that continent that is so divided against itself? Right now, everybody wants to run out of Africa. Everybody wants to go to some other man's country and do things. A lot of it is because of slavery. We were forced and carried out of Africa to the white man's land, to the West. We cried. We didn't want to go. But we got there, intermarried, and did so many different things. Now Africa lost us. The energy, the power that we gave to Africa in terms of our labor, our love, our loyalty, all started dissipating. All because of this by force slavery and all that. Now if there's an opportunity for you to bring back the power of Africa where you originally come from, why do you want to divide it? Why do you want to divide your loyalty? Every African must return to Africa. And by that, I'm not saying that you cannot be a resident of another country. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about loyalty.
No, what I'm saying though is, Black, I'm trying to get really pragmatic with this, because I heard you say you studied in the University of Coventry without being a citizen of that country. That's true. That's another option you could take. But then it will cost you more money than it will cost somebody else, right? Who could go to school for free. And not everybody probably have that option that you had.
Loyalty doesn't come easy. It's a sacrifice. In fact, when you are loyal, it means that you are ready to sacrifice. When you want to be loyal, it means that you are ready to take the pain and stay. Not everything in our country is the best. So many things are falling apart. But we want to stay and hold the pillar so that whatever has fallen apart can be fixed bit by bit. When we encourage dual citizenship, I am telling you that we are going to have crooks and thieves and hypocrites coming in. They are with us only when we are prosperous. They don't belong to us. Look at these dual citizenship people coming around, and they want to tell you that they have dual citizenship. And all that. They want to tell you that they are American, they are British and Ghanaian. At the same time, for me to be able to improve Africa and make Africa come back to its original roots, there should be nothing like dual citizenship. It doesn't help us in anything. That's my opinion.
Not for any category of people at all? Like blanket?
Not at all. Not at all. If your father is Chinese and your mother is Ghanaian, choose if you want to be Chinese, that is okay, I have no problem with you. Your loyalty is with China, but that doesn't stop you from coming to Ghana and helping. We have seen a lot of footballers who have chosen to give their loyalty to England, but they come here and do a lot of, philanthropic work.
Somebody will say, how dare you? Response: how dare you? Who are you to tell them how they should choose their loyalty?
Well, that is why we say we have opinions. Nobody is forcing anybody to do. And my opinion is that I would love that people of African origin, people of Chinese origin, whatever they are from, can decide. Nobody's forcing anybody to do that.
Clearly put. But my question really was not from that angle. What I meant was that who really determines who should come from where? But let's move on. I have a few questions I need us to knock out before our time runs out. So, you picked it up against Oliver Barker-Vormawor. And that's actually where it started for me, because I started paying close attention to what you were saying. And I think it hit a peak when you actually came out and did a whole show on that. What in a few words, what really is the issue? If someone is resident, let's just leave even the citizenship aspect out. He's resident in Ghana, at least one of his parents comes from Ghana. He sees something wrong in the country, he cannot speak up?
When you see something wrong with the country, it is very much okay for you to talk about it, even if you are Chinese. If I go to China and I see something wrong with it as a human being and as a citizen of the earth, I will still talk about it. But it's for the Chinese people to decide whether they want to listen to me or not. But for me, I see any dual citizenship holder as a hypocrite who belongs here and belongs there. You see, if I perceive, this is simple. The same system tells you that one man, one woman. Yet that system tells you that so you can belong to 2 countries or even more. And one man, one woman is all about loyalty. Why is it that loyalty only works with a man and a woman relationship and doesn't work with a nationality? That is what I'm looking at.
That's an interesting perspective.
Ghana come on and say that no dual citizenship. Give us 20 years and see how this country is going to develop. We have leaders who have British passports.
All right.
Some who have American passports.
Yes.
They claim they are here to support. Let a small bomb be detonated. They are in England.
Yep. And it's not even about bombs. It's just about the opportunity. And you see, these are the bad apples that spoil the whole basket, because you would look at those and you might be tempted to overlook the genuine needs of people like the categories we've been examining all along, But let's look at something else, Black. So Africa Unite, that's another pillar that Kwame Nkrumah placed, right? And I call it a pillar because it is something that is still here. It's even though the building is not finished, it's still a concept on which many of the things we do are connected. In practical terms, if Africa is uniting, we will be crossing over the borders, we will be going over there to Togo, Congo, South Africa, Kinshasa to trade, to marry, to love, to have fun, to play sport, to do all kinds of things, right? We're all Africans. Until these people came and drew our borders, Black. We were one African, we were not one people, to be very honest. We were different tribes, but we were a nation of different tribes, right? We're a people who used to cross over and trade among ourselves and everything. Isn't this singular citizenship thing reinforcing those borders, those artificial borders that were put in place by the colonial master?
I like that. I appreciate that. You see, I love this thing that you just said. But let me make a point. It is true. Yes, it is enforcing those artificial borders. But a whole journey of 1,000,000 miles will just begin with one step. The first step is that dual citizenship ban. After that, we are going to be able to have the continent come together. They will have one citizenship, and that is one continental citizenship. And that is the African citizenship. Yes, I mean, in the days, we were different people, but yet one people. One ethnic group would be loyal to that.
Hello?
And we fight the ethnic groups that.
Hello?
We have so many different African people, different ethnic groups who were loyal to different fragments of, settlements. It was there, but there was still loyalty. So this thing about dual citizenship, for me, is a trick by the West to further divide Africa's loyalty.
But there lies my difficulty, though. There lies my difficulty, Black, because if people were going to stick by those pre-colonial loyalties, then people are going to be are going to be loyal to, say, the Igbo nation, say the Ashanti kingdom, say the Fanti people, say this and that and the other thing, right? But Kwame Nkrumah, for instance, forged a solid African country out of so many different tribes. Okay, now if we are going to truth be told, he did not make the borders. It's something he inherited. I'm sure if he had his own way, he would have put more pragmatism into drawing those borders, you know. But my point really is that if we are going to hold steadfastly to the singular citizenship concept, aren't we creating artificial borders even among ourselves as African people?
I love that. In fact, you have answered the question by saying what you just said. You see, in Africa, we were different kingdoms and were loyal to our kingdom. Nobody would be loyal to the Ashanti kingdom and at the same time be loyal to the kingdom of Dawood. No. That was what it was. And when Nkrumah came, of course, long before Nkrumah came, other people also did it, but we will look at Nkrumah. When Nkrumah came, what did he do? He brought all these kingdoms together. Different, the Gomba, the Ashanti, and so many different people, and formed today's Ghana. That was the same thing I was trying to say. In the beginning, we had ethnic loyalty. Then we became kingdoms. And we had loyalties for our kingdom. It started growing. People would come together en masse. You know, more unification. So I'm saying that right after we have no dual citizenship, we are only paving the way to bring Africa together again so that we have one citizenship, and that is the citizenship of Africa. Like Nkrumah was able to deal with the of kingdoms and all that and combine everything under one nation. I
see. Okay. Thank you so much, Black Rasta. But before we leave, my viewers will never forgive me if I don't ask you this. You have released a song. You have released several songs. And I believe you've probably even released one after this one that I'm going to talk about. But that one is catching a lot of attention and it's turning a lot of heads. And people wonder how you get the courage and the temerity to be so bold to say the things you say, both in your show and in your music, and still live in Ghana. And we don't hear that you're phased at all. You're very bold in what you say and what you do. Where does the boldness come from?
I appreciate you and thank you so much. I know that you would have the answer, but you want your listeners to know, which is okay. The viewers as well. You see, I grew up in a setting Rasta fold that was very bold, with you inclusive. In fact, you were those who were guiding us. Rasta won't do this, Rasta wouldn't say this, Rasta can't say this, Rasta can't do this, Rasta has to be bold, Rasta has to say that. That was the kind of Rasta I grew up. As a young man cannot today, I'm all great. If the teachings of my forebearers cannot keep me strong and powerful and bold to be able to face the system, then I don't know what that teaching is going to move me to that level. Again, it's all about loyalty. It's all about patriotism. In fact, at the time that The Akans were trying to, before the Ashantis are even making the Akans, the Ashantis were trying to break away from Ghana. Nkrumah didn't like the idea. NLM, bow for your to doubting that, hey, Yati Ahu, we are no more part of Ghana. Nkrumah fought and brought them together. Recently, Western Togonas also wanted to break away. But in the name of unity, in the name of loyalty to a country, Western, whatever, decided to come together again. The Ashantis decided to come together again. For me, when I see people coming together, I am happy. When I see loyalty, and it doesn't matter what danger is around, I look at loyalty first. Because, in fact, question is interesting. How many lives do we have? Just one. It is better for a man to live short but achieve a lot than to live long and achieve nothing. My duty on earth is that I would help to unite people and give the generations to come a better Africa. That is why all this while I have not accepted any dual citizenship. But Obama came here, he offered me that. I didn't take it. No, I didn't. Because I do not want to die one day as if I will die at all. And then when they are reading my story, they say, oh, we have the citizenships of Ghana and America. No. Residence is okay. Dual citizenship is not. So when I'm talking loyalty, I talk with all strength and with all honor. And to God who protects me, I continue to stay alive.
And with no doubt about your clarity. Very, very, very well stated. Thank you very much, Black Rasta. There's a whole lot of other topics I want to pick up with you, including the emerging independent media in Ghana right now. And also music, a lot of music stuff to talk about, right? But we'll be picking that up on several other platforms. Thank you so much for joining me today on GH Mix.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, so you heard it for yourself. All the points have been made. The decision is yours to make. Should dual citizenship be entertained, or is it truly not something that we should be encouraging? Like I said, the answer lies in your head. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Kwesi, a son Bakon. I come in peace. I come not to please. I'll see you next week. Have a great time. Goodbye. Welcome to GH Mix. My name is Kwesi, a son Bakon, and you're welcome to another episode. We're picking up a very interesting topic today, and my guest is, full disclosure, great friend of mine, who is also a media person whose program I hardly miss. I actually listen and watch his program a lot. Now, in watching his program, something struck me, which also struck my team, because I was not alone while watching. Few of us picked up something in particular that he said, and we thought it is something worth examining further. My guest for today is a man we all know very well. His name is Black Rasta. He is on, I'll let him introduce himself by way of his media establishment, because I know he just joined the media establishment, but he's also the CEO of Black Empire Media. And another day we'll talk about independent media, and it will be another subject. But for now, Black Rasta thinks that dual citizenship is a disincentive to Ghanaians, and it's on this singular subject that I'm going to pick him on today. You're welcome to GH Mix, Black Rasta.
Thank you so much, Kwesi. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so my first question to you, can you lay it bare for everybody, those who may not have been watching you, what actually is your position to the dual citizenship concept?
Well, it's very, very simple. I think dual citizenship is hypocrisy. I think that dual citizenship is loyalty. You know, and the reason is very simple. Now, if you check it out, the same people who are ready to offer you dual citizenship will tell you that one man, one woman. And the reason is that you have to be loyal. Loyalty cannot be denied. Trump will tell you that America first. So if you are a dual citizenship holder of America and Ghana, what happens? When Trump says America first and Ghana says Ghana first, which one is the first for you? So that is very, very simple, Kwesi. I am saying that dual citizenship is a curse for Africans, and at the same time, dual citizenship is nothing but disloyalty.
So, okay, I can connect with that on several fronts, you know, but let's examine it a bit closer. You are a known Nkrumahist. There's no running away from that. And I mean, to use the cliche tag, Nkrumahist, right? But you are an ardent adherent of Nkrumah's principles. Kwame Nkrumah married from Egypt. Okay, so now let's look at a scenario where Kwame Nkrumah has married from Egypt and his children are having to make the hard choice between motherland and fatherland. Do you think we are overlooking such people?
No, not at all. In fact, you see, it's interesting. I like it from that perspective. And it's like me, who comes from a father who is a Sicilian, and my mother is a Nabo. In every tradition, they will tell you that they have a system of inheritance. Is it patrilineal? Or is it patrilineal? So even with that, traditionally, you have to make a choice.
But excuse me, I'm sorry to butt in, but that is limiting it to the norms of a Ghanaian traditional system, don't you think? Because now we're thinking about a global system where people may have married from, you know, across the borders.
Yes, I'm going to get to that. But okay. I'm just looking at the Ghanaian inheritance system. I'm saying that even with the Ghanaian inheritance system, you would have to be matrilineal or patrilineal. That means go with your father or go with your mother. The Akans normally go with their mother, that's patrilineal. You see, and the north, the people from the north would go with father, which is patrilineal. But let us look at it in our space. Kwame Nkrumah married an Egyptian. Kwame Nkrumah Ghanaian, Fatia Egyptian. They have children. They are half Ghanaian and they are half Egyptian.
Right from the onset of the project, one of the things that Kromanti Music asked me to say was that we had a surprise for you on the Riddim. Now, that surprise, if I wasn't an insider, I would not have even been able to fathom, because it's a reggae dancehall project, you know. And then Kromanti Music springs on us one of the tracks that have become the soundtrack of the project. If you think I'm lying, listen to Kim Bashman's mix and you know what I'm talking about. Let's welcome right now on the show the brother and sister duo, Africani Roots. Welcome on the show, Africani Roots.
Thank you for having us. Great to be here.
Wow. So, I have heard one of you play. I'll leave that, maybe that will unfold in the story. But first of all, how did you get on the Riddim?
Okay, so as you know, my father is very good friends with you, and we came across this beat around last fall, and my father was like, okay, like this beat is out now, and you know, the producers would like to see how you are able to blend your instruments into the beat. So we heard it the first time and we started like freestyling over it and improvising. And then within about a week or so, we recorded the official version in one take. So yeah.
Wow. And I personally knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know how good, you know, because I was like, violin. First of all, viewers, let me tell you what's going on. And I made a mistake. Let me have you introduce yourself first so that, you know, they will know who I'm referring to because there's two of you. Let me have you introduce yourself, both of you.
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Nocho Apongwadie, and I am the violinist on this rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm Kofi Opangwadi, and I play the kaon on this rhythm.
Serious things. You know, serious things. It's not easy to find such musicality in one family. You know what I'm saying? Like brother and sister duo. You know, wicked. And I've heard Anochua play. You know, sometime in Chicago, there was a little meeting of brethren and sistren over there, and I happened to be there, and your family was there as well.
Right.
And I heard you play, and I still have a recording of that because I had my little tourist camera in the corner.
Yeah.
and I'm like, whoa,
Right.
But at that time, the whole idea of putting it on a reggae rhythm hadn't materialized.
Called Rhythm Any Day. That's the name of the rhythm, but we decided to name the track a tribute to Dinkinesh.
Yes.
Yes. Very symbolic.
Who is Dinkinesh?
Well, Dinkinesh is it's the Ethiopian name for one of the oldest human skeletons that have been found on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
Wow. So you see, even though they're not saying anything, they are pointing you in a certain direction, because my first reaction is, okay, Dinkinesh rings a bell, but who exactly was Dinkinesh? They sent me researching, you understand? And that's what we got to do too. Yes, indeed, African roots, for real. All right. And then you how did you go about creating the music? How did you combine your individual energies to come up with what you came up with?
Right. I mean, like you said, it's great that we come from musical families, so we're used to playing with each other. But we experimented with quite a bit of different instruments. I don't know if you want to explain like our process.
Yeah, we did some experimentation before recording. We tried different instruments. We tried different guitar, different drum, and we came to the conclusion of like, let's do like one kaon and then one violin, and we'll just be like going back and forth off each other. So yeah, it's kind of interesting how both instruments that are so different came together and blended so well on this track.
It's the beauty of this track.
Yeah,
because it's a violin, which really is, we know the origins of that instrument, and then we also know, the origins of the other instrument. And then we know the very base on which they are both standing, and it blends so beautifully. Like I said, it's become the soundtrack. That's together with Val's emotional survival, he calls it, have become the soundtrack to the rhythm, and it's just beautiful. Let me ask you again. I'm not sure. I saw you are a music. You're a professional, right? It's not a hobby. You actually are a professional.
Yeah, so I'm currently studying violin performance at Northeastern Illinois University. I just gave my senior concert the other day ago, but I am on the professional route in terms of teaching and performing violin.
And if we have your permission, we'll show a little bit of that performance because I saw it on Facebook and I was completely blown away. And I was like, yes! Where the money Riddim, you see?
Of course, yes. Yeah,
wow.
Yes.
What does it take? Like, how many years you have to study and tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've been studying violin for 12 years this year. I started when I was 9 years old. And first, no one in my house at that time played the violin. I had just seen it enough times on TV and in other media outlets to want to play it. And then my parents said, okay, well, you have this passion. We'll go ahead and feed into it, and started getting me lessons. And then I guess, the rest is history, in terms of studying, performing the instrument, and now playing it on the college level, which is quite exciting.
Sorry about that. Yeah. And Kofi, you... I believe are studying something else, right? But music just happens to be in your veins.
Yeah. I've also been playing music since I was pretty young. I started with guitar when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And I've picked up other instruments along the way. So yeah, it's a lot of music around here.
So you play guitar, you play other instruments. Why did you choose the instrument you chose for this project? And I'm not sure of all I want you to answer me together, one after the other. That was a question, Kofi. And for you, I'm not sure. Why of all the other instruments did you choose the violin of all instruments?
Okay. Yeah.
I think I can go first, but I think that for this rhythm, I think I like the sound that it brought to the track. It brought out a very certain rhythmic accompaniment that I think that the track needed, especially with the violin.
Right. I also chose the violin because it's such a ringing instrument in terms of its timbre. It's very loud and full in terms of texture, and I knew that a lower pitch instrument would be a little harder to achieve that same brightness. So yeah, the violin was almost like automatic to this piece.
You speak about music like a professional. Like you know, listening to you, we realize that the music that didn't just happen. You know, it's a combination of inbred or innate talent and, you know, something that you've also studied. Let me ask you, how much of it would you say is raw talent and how much of it did you acquire?
That's a great
question. I would say, like, Kobe, would you be like 50-50?
Yeah, I would say something like 50-50 because as much as it is talent, you still have to do the work to get talent out.
You're never that talented. You still got to practice.
Yes. And answer me this one. Where I've been trying to, like, anytime I try to you know, communicate with you on the rhythm or whatever, your dad is always on point with your schedule. Okay, at this time they're writing exams, can it wait? At this time they're doing this, can we do this another time? How much of an influence is Wiro I in your life? Tell us.
Huge.
The biggest.
And not just Wiro I, by the way, my bad. Empress Hortense too.
Yes. I mean, just like having parents that are so deeply rooted in music that not only reflects our culture and our family structure, but also having parents that encourage us to pick up music, you know, it was always that foundational support from them. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a huge reason why we still keep going is the support that we get from our parents.
Absolutely.
Nice. I forgot to ask what you're studying, by the way, in school, Kofi.
Oh, I'm studying audio arts. I'm an audio arts major.
Fantastic. And I hear there's a videographer in there somewhere too.
Yes, our sister is the film major in our family.
Good gosh. Good gosh.
Right.
We can only wait with bated breath. Right. And if anything, we have Where the Money There and that track called Adulation for the Internet, right?
Yes.
We have that track as a guide to tell us what is about come from this family. Anyway, last words, Kofi and Agennodua, before we go.
I mean, I just want to thank everybody who streamed it, shared it, supported it. Of course, our father for organizing this amazing track. And you, thank you for reaching out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Definitely. Big props to everybody who was involved, getting the rhythm out there. You know, it's gone across the world now. Thank you to everybody who's listened to it. And yeah.
More to come.
More to come. Love that. Kofi and Agennodua upon Wade, aka African Roots. By the way, I forgot to ask you this question. I would never have forgiven myself. Why African Roots? What's the meaning of this? Because you know what? Let me tell you a short story. I was in a band called Shirin, right? Your dad was part of naming that band, and up till now, only a handful of people understand what Shirin means. What is the meaning of African Roots?
Right. I think, well, you can go first.
Yeah, I think that it's supposed to really symbolize, you know, the roots of an African person and how we express our heritage and our culture.
Yeah, it's a symbol of pride. You know, it kind of speaks for itself. You know, it's very strong and very symbolic. And it's a perfect name.
It Yes, absolutely. So is Afrikaner what it sounds like to me as a Ghana person?
Yeah.
Yes.
Afrikaner sounds like tree to me. It sounds like African.
Yes, yes. And it's actually funny that you mentioned that because our father was also very pivotal in naming our group as well. So it seems to be a running trend for him for sure. So,
Okay.
yes.
FYI, I don't know if you know this, but I was rooting for another name and I didn't win. So that's all right. That's all right because I was humble enough to give in to Afrikaner roots. I think it's a beautiful name for a beautiful, beautiful group, or I don't know what to call you right now.
A duo.
Duo is the word I was looking for. So thank you very much once again, and we will be catching you. We will be getting back to you some more, I guess.
Thank you.
All right, let's leave you with the sounds of Afrikaner roots. It's called Adulation for Dinkenage.